Hey y'all, welcome back to Zahatka, or welcome for the first time if you've never been here. My name is Valentina, and today I'll be showing you how I make a book sleeve with a little tie on top. So if you're ready to learn, hit that thumbs up button and make sure you're subscribed for more in the future. Now let's get started! So as you saw in the intro, we'll be using this fun cow print fabric. My measurements for this are 11.5 by 8. So 11.5 inches long and 8 inches tall. These measurements gave me a 10 by 7.5 finished product. Also, you'll need to cut out a 15-inch by 4 or 3-inch, just depending on how wide you want your strap on top to be. But I did 15-inch by 4-inch for the straps, the little tie on top. The batting you're using in this project is a polyfill. You can choose whatever you want to use. If you want the more fluffy, thick look, you use the polyfill. You can use the cotton if you want a slimmer, not very thick look, but still have a batting. And you just have to layer it up with the cotton if you want a fluffy look. Next, you measure out your liner, and you can choose that to be whatever you want it to be. Mine's just a black, silky-like liner. And you can honestly cut everything in one step. I'm just showing it out by step, but if you want to do it all in one, just layer them up together and cut it all in one, and it'll be much faster. Now you have your batting, your liner, and your outer fabric and your straps, and you're ready to get sewing. You don't have to make this quilted, but I chose to make mine quilted, and that's the first thing that you'll sew is your quilted pattern onto the fabric. You'll just clip together the fabric with the batting and start sewing those quilted pattern. After I finished sewing all the lines for my quilted pattern, I cut off the excess batting because there's always going to be a little excess, and iron it down to get off the heat erasable lines off. And I choose to attach a label to the front of my things. I measure it out, make sure it's in the center, and sew it down. The next step I did is getting my 2 strap lines out, the 15 by 4, and I iron them down in the middle. Like I fold them pretty sides together and iron down the middle. And then where it opens, you sew down the 2 ends together, and you sew down one line, one of the ends of the shorter ends, just on one side though. After sewing that, you can just cut off the excess fabric you have, if you have any. Now you will turn your straps right side out, and I have these little scissor looking scepter things. They're not scissors, they're scepters, and they grab things, and they make it really easy to turn stuff the right side out or inside out or whatever. And to finish off the straps, you'll just iron them down, and that'll make them look pretty and finished. The next step is attaching the liner and the strap. So you want to put your strap with the open end on top, and it's just gonna lay down. And then you put your liner on top of that and clip it all together. Just make sure your strap is laying in the middle, so measure it out if you have to. And put the liner on top, and then you'll sew a straight line right across the top. Then you just cut off the excess fabric you have, and you do this on every step just to give you that smoother finish whenever you're done.
This fabric is particularly funny to me because it actually looks like a little cowtail whenever you have this step. But nonetheless, you want to sew down your liner, and we're going to do that by first ironing down on both sides to make it flatter for you and easier to sew. But you iron down the inside and then iron down the outside and sew a straight line across on the outside. One thing to remember is if you iron down the polyfill batting too much, it does melt with the heat and makes it flatter, so just make sure you don't iron too much on it. Now you're in the home stretch and you just have a few more steps to go. So you're gonna lay these down together, pretty sides together on the insides and the not pretty sides on the outsides. And make sure that that strap that you have, you fold it down inside so you don't accidentally sew it. And you'll just clip everything around wherever you need to sew, all the little edges, you put little clips on them. And you'll sew all the way around besides leaving a little spot in the lining in the middle. So that little, maybe like a 2 or 3 inch spot, you'll just leave it not sewn. That little hole you don't sew together, it's how we're going to turn our project outside in. Again, you'll just cut off all the excess fabric. The last step is turning everything right side out, and that little hole that you left that you didn't sew, you're going to use that to turn everything right side out. And make sure that you go inside with something before you sew that little hole together and poke all the corners out so it looks nice and finished. And your finishing touches are just cutting all the little strings that you see anywhere or anything like that. Just cut it and it'll be perfectly well made and handmade by you.
I hope you enjoyed that make and you learned something from it. And if you did try it or will try it, just let me know down below. And if you have any suggestions of what you want me to make next and show you how to make it, also just list that down in the comments below. And I do want to thank you so very much for choosing to watch my channel and spend some time with me and learn from me. And yeah, just thank you so much, and don't forget to subscribe, hit that thumbs up button or that little bell button if you want to see what's coming next, and I'll see you next time.